You don't build a great business with a great product. You build it with great people. Here are my 5 top tips on how to build a winning team, even though you might not be able to offer a 6-figure salary, snacks, or beanbags, or anything in between. Number 1, hire for attitude and train for skill. Over the years, one of the things that I've learned is that you can't really teach someone to be ambitious or to want to be successful. You can certainly work with them if they have a desire to learn, and you can upskill them as you go along. However, one thing that must be absolutely clear is that the right attitude is a non-negotiable. The skills can come later and you can teach them that, but they must have the right attitude. Number 2, start out with very clear goals and expectations and make sure to repeat them along the way. You see, when you start a new job, most of the time you go into it with the best of intentions and you have a lot of ambitions and you have all these great things that you want to do. And one of the things that you need to make sure is that you're aligned with your line manager so that ultimately your goals and your expectations align with the objectives of the company. And what happens is every 3 months, every 6 months, or perhaps every 12 months, you need to make sure that you check in to make sure that those goals are still aligned. And the reason for that is that very often, whilst you might start being aligned on the goals, along the way people tend to sway and they tend to go in a different direction that perhaps doesn't actually align with the overall objective. So set out very clear objectives and make sure to check in so that they're still aligned for the end goal. Number 3, you need to lead and not just give orders. See, over the years, one thing I've learned is that if you want people to follow you in an organization, you need to really mean what you say, and you need to be able to have a certain intensity and intent behind your actions and your words. See, the truth of the matter is that ultimately, a lot of leadership boils down to 3 key components: admiration, respect, and sometimes even a little bit of fear. Now, the admiration is pretty obvious. You need people to look up to you, and you need people to ultimately want to be a part of what you're doing. The respect is a question of being able to trust your judgment and knowing that you're going to make the right calls. Now, fear. Naturally, people might be wondering, why in the world would you need a little bit of fear in there? Well, the truth of the matter is, people need to know that if necessary, you can play the bad cop. A lot of it has to do with keeping the balance in the company and also making the right decisions, even though they sometimes are the hard decisions to make, but they need to know that you can make those decisions if necessary. Number 4, you can't out-strategize a broken culture. See, over the years, one thing I've learned, and because I've made those mistakes myself, is that really it all starts with recognizing the work of your people, being there every day, and getting involved with them on the front line. Ultimately, people need to feel that they're part of a bigger objective. I mean, if you think about it, a business is nothing more than a group of people that have come together to achieve a common objective. So don't think about it in terms of management. Don't think in terms of additional layers of complexity. Make sure that you celebrate the small wins. Make sure that you're there for them, that you're listening to them, and make sure that ultimately they feel that you're in the fight with them and you're trying to achieve a common objective. Number 5, hire fast, but make sure that you fire even faster. See, over the years, one of the things that I've learned is that what you want is you want to make sure that you can hire people and you can hire them at great scale and volume, especially for entry-level, mid-level roles. The truth is, a lot of people these days, they don't really tell you the full picture, and you won't really know whether or not they can do the job until they're in the role. But in order to be able to grow a business with this type of approach, you need to also understand that if they aren't the right people and the moment you spot it, you need to be able to show them the door. There's nothing wrong with that. You can make sure that they have a soft landing, but if you're going to hire fast, you need to make sure that you can fire even faster. Now, if you're still here with us, I'll see you next week for the next episode.